So here is my review with The Dark Knight. Now, most people seem to really love this film. In fact, some people calling it a masterpiece, greatest film of 2008, da 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 da. Now, I think it's a good film, but I don't think I liked it as much as everyone else did, and I'll tell you why. The first thing I didn't like about this film is Gotham City itself. Now, in Batman Begins, Christopher Nolan was able to create a city that was both dark and gothic, but at the same time had a certain amount of realism to it. I thought that was really well done. But by the time it came to The Dark Knight, he seemed to throw all that out the window, and instead what we get is Gotham City, but all it really is just a normal, typical suburban American city. It doesn't have darkness nor atmosphere, and you might not think that's really a big deal, but when you think about it, Batman really doesn't fit in this world now, because it's not dark and it's not interesting. The whole Bat costume and the fear and the iconicness, I guess, of Batman doesn't really fit in with this film, and it almost looks like Batman may as well just be a secret agent, because this takes the realism factor for me a little too far. And while in this film, I thought the character development was quite good. I mean, all the characters were fleshed out quite well. There's something awfully bland about Bruce Wayne and Rachel and a couple of the other supporting characters. They seem to lack personality, which in a way makes you not like them that much. There's nothing particularly special about these characters in the way they act or anything. They all seem quite generic in the way they appear. And besides their actions, there's not a lot to root for these characters or like them in general. They sort of need a bit of personality to them, and for me, they don't really have them in this film. But I thought a lot of other cast members were pretty good. Obviously, Heath Ledger's Joker is fantastic. I really like Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. I think Michael Caine's really good as Alfred. And I think there's a lot of other cast members I haven't mentioned. The story in this film's pretty good. It's more like a crime saga than what Batman Begins was, which was more of a straightforward superhero movie. But there's something awfully boring about the way this story's told. It's told straight up, which isn't that bad, but I feel like sometimes Christopher Nolan maybe needed to tell this story with a bit of mystery, with a bit of edge to it. And to be honest, it's not that interesting the way it's told. It's told straight up. It needed to be told more with mystery to them, and let the audience think a bit. In this one, it just does all the thinking for you, and I didn't really like that. Another thing I should mention is there's not a whole lot of emotion in this movie when it comes to Batman. I think it tried, but it didn't really get me. Like when Rachel died, I didn't really feel anything. I think it draws back to the sort of personality of the characters, which I mentioned before. Saying some of the bad things, there's plenty of good things in this film. For example, the action is spectacular. I absolutely love that car chase in this film. And there's obviously a whole bunch of other action sequences I can mention. In conclusion, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was great, and it's a great follow-up to Batman Begins, but it's not as good for me, and it's not a masterpiece like a lot of people say. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a good film, though.